All right. So, welcome everybody to the Amped Up Live stuff. I know I'm not sharing my screen right now at the moment, but I did that intentionally. For those of you that might have seen one of my other webinars, that it just starts off with like, you know, you're you never see me. So here I am, and I wanted to personally congratulate each and every one of you for actually saying yes to yourself and yes to your business and wanting to move forward and find out a little bit more about what it is that we do and how we do it and how we can help your business in a very heart-centered way and get rid of that fear, that lack, that limitation that a lot of the marketing industry has been using for decades. That feels like you need to take a shower after you use it. Okay, I'll just be honest. So I will start to share my screen now, and I will go through this. And please follow along with me and take notes if you like. Let me adjust my head here because I know I'm going to be pretty big. All right, and let's rock and roll. Oh, now I can't see what I'm doing here. Now it doesn't want to let me see what I'm doing. Oh, this darn, hold on. The black bar thingy's in the way. It won't let me move it. There it goes. All right. Let me do that either. Well, we'll just go through it now, like this. Okay. Hopefully I'm small enough and everybody can kind of understand where I'm at. So again, thank you so very much for being here, and we are going to get started. Right? If you want to read that, you can. Basically, it says thank you, and let's rock and roll. All right. So who is this for? This is for entrepreneurs that really want to scale their impact in the world, but don't really know how. So hold on, let me turn off something real quick. I know my internet is kind of crazy right now. Probably got kids on it and everything else. So hopefully you guys can see me. So if you haven't really found out a way to grow your business or really get in front of the right people, like you've been trying a lot of different stuff and it just kind of hasn't been working out for you, you're in the right spot. And if you definitely do not like the feeling of the lack and the limitation and the fears, and all the things that you've been probably taught in your business school or taught in your coaching schooling of any kind, then you've also found yourself in the correct place. This is not a place where we're going to beat you over the head with stuff. This is not a place where I'm going to tell you that you have to have a limited time offer and that you got to create scarcity. I know a lot of like really high, earning individuals that do that, and that's fine. That might work for them. That does not feel good to me whatsoever. And everything that I've tried in doing that, because that energy actually goes into what it is that I'm doing. So yes, you're in the right place if you've answered yes to any one of those, and you probably really want to find that, have it feel really natural and easy. And because I'm about that, and fun. Don't forget fun. I love fun. Okay. So let's unlock the escape. Let's unlock this real quick. So I'll stop popping up on my screen here, including my own head. Ooh, that was interesting. Okay, so let's unlock these 5 keys. Okay. So what you're going to learn today is you're going to be able to shift from chasing to attracting. You're going to be able to really get down into some of your messaging that feels really good. Okay. You're going to start crafting a lot of those messages that really spark that inspired action, not the fake inspired action that is through inspired fear. Okay. We're not going to do any of that. So you're going to start using some storytelling, some value, and really get centered around the connection that you're making with your audience. Okay. Then you're also going to start embodying that that confident person that creates, from the heart, really effortlessly, because it just it's going to come out of you once you really get excited about it. Moving on to the next slide at some point. Okay, there we go. Um, Yay, it's me and my family. So who the heck am I, right? So my name is Rustin Van Auken, and I am the sole led co-owner of Abundant Intentional Marketing, the founder of Sold Out Marketing Community, and the founder of the Illusion of Marketing workshop series itself. There's a few different ones that we're going to be doing, but we'll be rolling out one of them here tonight. Okay, so getting to this point, it really has been um, contrast, right? To put it in those type of terms. That contrast, though, I really had to overcome a lot of different things, whether it be homelessness or alcoholism, PTSD, feeling like a failure, and feeling not worthy of things. And I spent decades learning about people and about how they kind of operate in business. Being somebody who comes from the corporate side of things, as a leader, I was exposed to a lot of different people that were doing a lot of different things, and I had to mold my style around them to be able to focus them on and align them on a very specific vision or goal that whatever company I was working for had, and that could be challenging at times. But I always found that something that is led from the heart will always end up to be the best possible scenario at the end. Always. There's no lack, and I know people that use lack and limitation in order to get people to move into a certain space. That is not what I found, right? And again, I've learned that connection is way more important than any of those call to actions. People call them call to actions. Actually, funny story. I had somebody that told me, like, it would be impossible for me to change the marketing world to say call to connect, right? And they were like, they've been using it for decades, and I was like, and that's why I want to change it, because that action has always been synonymous with some kind of fear, lack, and limitation. So I'd rather call to connect with people. So you can more than happy to lend that out to you, and you can just steal it if you want. So and I've learned to value a lot of my time energy over having to spend that, especially away from my family. As you can see here, right, this is my team. This is my soul line team. These are my two youngest boys right there. I also have a 21-year-old stepdaughter who is absolutely wonderful. But these two little guys right here and my wife, they all keep me very focused on the things that I am doing. They're a big, why, and being a part of this team definitely helps me to stay focused in what my vision is. So as you can see here, like, this is kind of like throughout the years. The upper right is who we are now. Upper left was, those are previous versions of myself and my wife as well. And then when we started our business, the Abundant Intentional Marketing, Marketing with Spirit. So, yeah, if you got any questions about those pictures, there are some funny stories behind them. So with all that stuff that I have experienced and learned throughout the years, I had to ask myself that question, like, how do I impact the world with what I have, right, and what I know? And I realized that throughout my life, whether it be in one way or another, whether it be business or personal, right, that there was always this thing where I was always engaging and empowering people to create these ripple effects. And it really kind of came to this point where I was like, I really wanted to do something to uplift humanity, not just the people that were around me, but the people that didn't even know me. And so I found that when I started this business in marketing and talking to hundreds, possibly even thousands of coaches, that there was a real big need that the stuff that I was doing from my old versions of myself was not meeting up to fulfill that vision that I had. And I really, really wanted to do something that was bigger. And one day, I was like sitting there meditating, and it just like my soul, my heart, it just screamed at me that you must do things a different way. You must completely remove the stuff that had been done for decades. And that started me on the journey that you're kind of going through right now. So I really, really, really love Henry Ford's quote here. If everyone is moving forward together, and then success kind of takes care of itself. Um, he didn't say kind of, but success will take care of itself 100%. And I know that to be true even in the corporate space. And that is like a big part of what we do is alignment, right? And so, you know, in doing that, I urge you not to be fooled by the statistics and the numbers and everything else. And even though they looked amazing, and they're, and I can teach you all about them and what to look for, and how to adjust, and all that stuff. But in reality, your beliefs will trump the statistics any day of the week, any day. If you believe that it can be done, it will be done. I can guarantee you that. But I did put this in here so that you kind of understand what the world kind of conforms to when they're looking at this stuff, and what it actually can look like, when you completely just add a simple thing in there, right? So 23% of small businesses say that they fail due to lack of having the right team, and that's because they weren't aligned. And being that leader that you want to become, being that that legendary leader, you will make sure that everything that you do in your messaging and how you actually speak it will automatically align people to your vision, right? It's very, very important to do that. 46% of those small businesses are unsure whether or not their marketing strategies are working. And that's because they don't have the clarity of their mission. They don't have the clarity of what it is that their vision is, and then actually being able to move forward with it in a concise way, right? And it's completely 100% avoidable. 74% of consumers rely on social media to guide their purchasing decisions. I added that in there so that you understand that there is a large chunk of humanity that is sitting in there being distracted by this stuff. And if you're resisting social media in some way, that's a really big thing to be tapping into, to say, hey, I'm going to get in front of it. It doesn't mean you have to scroll. It doesn't mean you have to completely, get in there and like totally engage in it. I use a lot of the back end stuff, so I don't really even see any of the feeds anymore. But it's important to understand that, and then be open to receive from those platforms as well. All right, so we're going to hop right into the keys here. So key number one, the attraction shift. Okay, so shifting from how you can actually convince people to how you can actually serve and inspire and create that curiosity within them, so that they will take true inspired action, right? That's a big question right there. How can I serve, inspire, and create curiosity? You can nail that question down, and you could actually, attune that to your vision. You will 100% be successful. 100%. And then everything else on top of that is just icing on the cake. Okay. Key number two, clear and confident messaging, right? Who do you help? Who is it, right? How do you help them, right? And what transformation do they experience? And I say that, this probably sounds very familiar to a lot of other places that do that. There is another concept in it, though. Use your experience, your storytelling experience, right? This happened to me. I was homeless until somebody decided that they wanted to take a chance on me. And once they did, I never gave that up. I continued to give myself that chance, right? Simple. It's a storytelling. It inspires action in people. It gets them curious as to who you are, and they're gonna consume many other things of yours probably before they get to you. But that leads me kind of into my next step, is into the engagement part, right? That conversation. Don't lead them. So in key number three, sorry, back up a little bit. Engaging, not pushing. And key number three, we're going to put them in contact with us directly, not into an automated DM system, not into some CRM where they just kind of disappear and then they just get like emails for weeks on end. No, no, no. we're going to ask them to connect with us. That is the quickest, truest way for somebody to gain trust with somebody, right? Just like on here, if you wanted to connect with me, I will send you my booking link. We can connect, not a problem. I will schedule time for you. Not a problem. I'm not going to send you into a DM list. I'm not going to send you into an email list or anything like that. You can ask any one of my previous clients. They don't just get bombarded with emails and stuff every single day. I do send out emails, yes, but I do all that stuff on the back end. I don't do it first and foremost. No way. That is not a heart-centered way to do it. That is living in the fear. That is keeping them away from you, right? And what we want to do is draw them into you, magnetize you so that they want to come in. Like Lynn. Lynn is a very, very good example. So her business is kind of all over the place. She didn't really understand, where she was going, or what her clarity was on her offer and everything else. So we were actually able to go in there, and she had a lot of technical issues that we were able to solve for her, right? And we did all this in a heart center way. She knew that she could reach out and she was going to get a real person. She knew that she was actually going to, get the help that she wanted in a timely fashion as well. Sometimes it kind of took me a little while to kind of figure out, but I always was able to communicate with her directly. So that's a big thing. I can't tell you enough. You can create lifetime clients by doing the connection part, right? And that's really what we're looking for. We're looking to impact the world and keep impacting the world, because that person that you've impacted is now going to impact 2 or 3 more, and those people are going to impact 2 or 3 more with what you're giving them, the experience, the strength, and the hope that you're giving them. All right. Key number 4: simple and supportive systems. So a little bit like Lynn in that she had a multitude of different systems in there, right? She had the CRM, which was one. She had the website. She had, she had an emailer. She had, all this crazy stuff that she was looking at doing, right? And we were able to really simplify that and get it down to one platform. I use Go High Level. I recommend everybody uses it. It can be a little bit daunting and tech heavy, but with my help, we're able to like really simplify the stuff and make it very, very easy for everybody, right? So that is a huge one. That those emails, those follow-ups and stuff like that. If you're going to automate stuff, make it make sense. Make it simple for you. Don't make it overcomplicated. Don't ask somebody else that's like super tech savvy and just like says, "Oh, all you got to do is like this, that, this, and that." Believe me, I know. I've done it to other people, and it doesn't usually work out well for them. They get even more overwhelmed. So if you're feeling like that overwhelmness is going on with you, I'm telling you, simplify it. Make it feel good to you. You don't actually have to use every single one of them. There's only about maybe 2 or 3 things that you really I would recommend using. Technically, you could just write a letter to people and send it out in the mail if you really wanted to make it that simple. But in this day and age of digital stuff, that's not really a good way to do it now. So key number 5: stepping into your leadership. I talked a little bit earlier about legendary leadership. This is a key component that ties everything together that I'm talking about. So you as a leader must lead from the front. You must take charge of everything. So you must be the one that is 100% confident and bold in everything that you do in your business. People don't go to you and just go, well, I think that he or she might know what they're talking about, right? No, you're bold in what it is. Like, look, I'm going to get you these results. I'm going to do this transformation with you because you were me back then. And I would love an opportunity to be able to help you out and improve your life and make the impact in your life that you so desire, right? Stuff like that. That's your unique voice, right? And when you find that unique voice through like your legendary leadership, I'm telling you, it's going to be a complete game changer. Because if you're not landing with people right now, there's a very, very good chance that you have not found that unique voice yet, right? And I implore you to get out there and actually start doing that unique voice. Find it, It's usually going to be some transformation that you've already gone through, right? That really impacted your life. And then if you share that story, I'm telling you, people are going to resonate with it. Remember, it's not about you, but it must be about you. Okay? So the magnetic you. So this kind of goes around to that messaging, right? So when it's really easy and effortless, right, you are magnetized, right? When you're telling when you're telling the story about how you transformed, how you went from a crazy divorce, and it was like, you know, all this stuff was happening, and you found some kind of solace, and you were able to make a mental switch, uplift yourself, and then you were able to look at everything through a different perspective, and this is how you did it. I'm telling you, that unique voice in itself will make you magnetic, right? Get inspired to do stuff. Don't do it just because you have to. I'm telling you. Like there's a difference between being accountable for things and doing things because you feel like you have to, right? Now I could be accountable to doing this webinar, at a certain time on a certain date, and that's fine. But I get excited beforehand. I get excited to talk to people. I get excited to share my experience, my strength, and my hope with people, right? With you guys. So I mean, get excited, and then that energy comes across, right? I'm sure you could probably feel my energy because I'm passionate about this, right? So I implore you to do that before you do anything else in your business, right? So that content that you're making, right? When you make that content, are you really doing it because you are in lack and limitation of not having any sales, or maybe you only have a little bit of sales and you want more, right? Are you doing it in that lack limitation energy? If you answered yes, stop it. Don't do it no more. Get excited. Be the person. I think it was Neville Goddard that said, have your assumptions. Assume that the wish is already fulfilled, right? That in itself, big thing. You guys already know that. A lot of you are probably already in that kind of energy and have read those books. But this, for some reason, I find that a lot of coaches and consultants, they don't quite mix the two, the business and the personal. They'll do it in their personal life, but then when it comes to business, they're all over the place and they're still living in lack and limitation, right? So if that's you, I suggest that you take your own advice and the advice of some of those people that have lived through that, like Neville Goddard and Napoleon Hill, and apply it to your business stuff too, right? So don't do it because you don't have sales. Do it because you want to impact the world and you want to resonate with people. Okay. So when was the last time that you made something that says, man, that was so me? I can say I did it yesterday. I made a video yesterday and I was dancing and I was happy and I was just like over the top, man. That is totally me. That is totally me. Okay. I am goofy and just off the wall, and I say funny stuff, and I mix words up sometimes, and I kind of falter a little bit here and there, but that's fine. That's me. That's who I am. I'm not completely polished and look like a $1 billion man all the time. Okay, now I could actually get polished up if I wanted to, but that's on special occasion, right? So in that, try to remember that when you look at your stuff, is this me, right? Is it really me? Is it coming from my heart? Is it really is something that I enjoy talking about? Because if it's not, pitch it. I'm telling you, pitch it. I've done all those same things, and it didn't work out. It was just basically like a learning experience for me, right? And that's kind of how I got here. It happened for me. But I'm telling you, this can be one of those things that you could shortcut and you don't have to go through that. You could spend your time and your energy doing something that you absolutely love instead. I think the slides can change. It might not. Oh, there he went. Michelle. Love Michelle. Um, Michelle is a soul purpose coach. I think they call them Dharma coaches. She's awesome. And her and I were able to work together along with my wife as well. So our team was able to work with her to be able to kind of really streamline a lot of the stuff that she was doing, and then get clear on her messaging. That was like a big thing for her. She didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to really be heard. So when you have that kind of fear going on inside, of not wanting to be seen or heard, we really got to take care of that first and foremost. And so she actually became like a really big leader. At the time, she was doing content creation and branding at the time. So she was kind of like behind the scenes. She didn't really want to be, on the camera or anything like that. And through working with us and her being able to find her own unique voice, she decided that, you know what, this is not what I love doing. I absolutely love to get people's, into their transformation, find their soul, get back to where they remember who they really are, right? And in that, man, I mean, it was a huge, amazing transformation for her. I absolutely love talking to her. I always have, but she still does a little bit of branding every now and again, and she's really good at it. I'll tell you that. She's done a lot of branding for previous clients of mine, and they absolutely love it. But she is like found her home. She has transformed 100% into that beautiful butterfly, and she's flying high right now. So we're very, very fortunate to be able to have worked with her. So aligned partnerships, kind of like what we were talking about with Michelle, right? So these are some of those aligned partnerships that elevated the world. They impacted the world in a very big way, right? And to be fair, there's not many things out there that impact the world the way a lot of these things do that aren't an aligned partnership of some kind, right? So the Wright brothers, airplanes, man, still impacting the world to this day. Page and Sergey, Google, again, still impacting the world to this day on a very grand scale, right? But those are people that are aligned with their vision and then be able to bring their zone of genius and their expertise to the table, each one that complements each other, right? Cohen and Greenfield, Ben and Jerry's, come on, it's just delicious. Jobs and Wozniak, Apple, I mean, amazing. I hear that Jobs actually was pretty spiritual. I didn't know that until today. Really cool. Procter and Gamble, I guarantee you have something in your house that has Procter and Gamble on it, because this is the thing. Those visions that were, it doesn't matter who started the vision. It doesn't matter. They found somebody that had the same vision, wanted to do the same things, wanted to impact the world in a grand way. They aligned and made it happen, regardless of what anybody else said. Because when you're together, you can play off of each other, right? You're not a single force alone, and then you're being bombarded with all these different things. Do this, do that. You're not going to make it if you do this. This isn't going to work. That's going to work. Buy my thing, buy this thing. It's going to do that for you. It's going to do this for you. You're getting bombarded with those things and probably taking them because you don't have another sounding board really to bounce that off of, right? That's why a lot of business coaches are very, very successful. They can be that sounding board. Nicole, great example of it. She was frantic. She only had like, I think it was like 48 hours to come up with something. She had like this event that she was launching, and she had no way to get like her landing page in and how to capture people's information and stuff like that. And she knew that we just make things easy, right? And that was the whole point. And she came to us. She was like, I have this vision. This is what I want to do. This is how I want it to be. And we knocked it out. We already had the same vision to impact the world. I think she got like 20 something people in like the first, the first day. So I mean, it was really, really, really big. And Nicole, she is an awesome, awesome coach. Okay, she's a transformational coach. So if you really want any any of the people that I spoke about earlier, if you want their information, just get with me and I'll actually let them know that that you want to contact them, and I'll pass your information along. All right, so let me ask you guys a question. We are rolling something out, and I think this would be a really, really good opportunity for everybody to see. And we were able to kind of craft a lot of this stuff, especially for this webinar. And is it all right if I take like 10, 15 minutes to kind of talk about it? Yeah. All right. Cool. Right on. Moving right along. All right. So in our sold out marketing community, we've had this on Skool now for a little over a month, I think. It's doing very well. There's a lot of there isn't a ton of people in there. There's not thousands and thousands, but that's on purpose. I want to talk to each and every person that goes in there. Well, in there, we're actually rolling out a workshop. This is kind of a workshop to end all workshops. It's going to have multiple different phases in it. But this is phase one, and it's called the illusion of marketing: escaping the marketing matrix, right? So this is going to be really big to move the needle towards heart-centered marketing and getting away from that fear, that lack, that limitation marketing that everybody's been pushing for decades. Okay, so this is it, and I want to tell you, it is intense. Okay, this is not something that is one call a week. That doesn't move the needle. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I've done it before. It really doesn't move the needle, because what usually happens is we have a call on one day, and then the rest of the time we kind of procrastinate, right? And then we get to the day before the next call, and we're doing all the work and the homework and everything else, and we're trying to get it all done. 100%. If you're anything like me, that's how you do it, because that's how I do it. So I decided, you know what? Well, let's make this transformation 4 weeks long. And in this 4 weeks, there are 3 calls a week. So it is a big commitment. It is 3 hours a week to do this, right? But having said that, this is what moves the needle along. You don't have time to procrastinate. It is getting down into your business. We're not going to take 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, 3 months to start moving that needle, right? We're going to start doing it right off the bat. That first week, you're going to get hit with a lot of stuff, okay? So this is kind of how it goes, those 4 weeks. If you want, take a screenshot of it. I'm going to go ahead and move on. So what does it do for you, right? You become magnetized to those people. That's what it does. That's a big part of what it does, right? So when you gain that clarity of your message and you actually are moving into your unique voice, you become 100% magnetized for the people that are ready for your service. They say yes even before they meet you, okay? So it starts that transformation just from them reading it or watching it, however you want to put it out there, right? That clarity, that alignment, right? Your mission and the intention to coherently focus a lot of that energy will speed up the growth. Okay, we've tried a couple of different models in the past. Me personally, I've tried them, and I found that the transformation that is really necessary for a lot of this stuff must happen in a very condensed way, right? Especially if we're talking about business stuff, because here's the deal: you don't want to be 3 months into it and nothing happened, right? You're still learning about the best parts. That's why I made it 4 weeks long, right? You're going to get, I don't talk about the monetary energy very much, but you will become magnetized to it because of the level of impact that you are making in the world, right? That is the law of compensation, right? And that my favorite part is it's going to be fun and it's going to be easy, right? You're still going to have to put in some work. Don't get me wrong. It's not just like this done for you type of deal. And I see a lot of those going on. And those done for you deals, you kind of lose touch with a lot of your clients and your business, right? Now it no longer becomes yours. Now it becomes somebody else's because they're just copy and pasting off of something else. You're the same as everybody else. You're just a freaking stamp. And we don't want that. That's not heart-centered marketing. Not even close to it. So we're going to make sure that you own everything. You understand it and that you can move through it very easy and effortlessly. Okay. So who is this for? If you said yes to any of those things that I was talking about earlier, even the procrastination part, this is for you. This is for the people that want to make a large impact in the world and are tired of the fear, the lack, the limitation, the pressure, the limited time offer, the, hey, I only got 2 spots left. Or, there's only 2 hours left. You refresh the page and there's only 2 hours left and you refresh the page and there's only 2 hours left, right? That type of stuff. I have done it. 100%. Some of you that may have seen some of my older webinars, it had a timer on there, 100%. And if you refresh the page, guess what happened? It refreshed too. My point being is that I've tried all that stuff. If you're anything like me, you found that it probably didn't work, right? So this is for you, right? This is the all immersive sold out marketing group on Skool. Okay, there's some pictures of it. Actually, that picture on the right is a little outdated. We've changed a bunch of stuff in there. But the reason why I say that it's all immersive is because all of those things that you've been doing on the social media platforms and everything else, they can be distracting. They can distract you from doing the things that you would absolutely love doing in your business, right? Because I know I've gotten caught up in it. I'll go to my Facebook group and I'll start engaging, and next thing I know, something will pop up. I'm like, oh, this person wants to talk about what they're having for dinner tomorrow, and I start getting, that doesn't really move the needle very much. So I like it because it's very, very focused. It's a very, very good place to meet all those amazing people too that are all on the same journey as you, right? It's focused on growing and collaborating without the distraction, right? Big, big thing, right? Endless support from admin and community members, right? We are there. We're monitoring it constantly. If you DM me on Skool, I see it. It comes across everywhere. It's not like Facebook where I get 50 of them, right? So very, very powerful, right? And the community members, everybody's in there and they're all supporting each other. So that's a huge part of that, right? And there's a gamification thing in there. So as you move up and as you're engaging in the community and you're giving and you're supporting and stuff like that, you'll actually start up leveling. And as you up level, more things become unlocked, right? Because here's the thing, a lot of people, they want to start off with everything. And if I gave you everything, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, 100%, right? I'm not saying that you're not ready for it. I'm saying that it can be very daunting because there's a lot of stuff in there. So if we kind of trickle it out as you become more aware and really get down into that stuff, you're going to be ready for it. You're going to be like, yeah, let's go. Let's consume this. Let's start implementing this stuff. And that feels good to me. And I'm sure it will probably feel good to you. Right? So again, here's the illusion of marketing workshop. And this is what you get while it's in it, when it's in there and it's completed and everything else. There'll also be replays to go along with that as well. Right? And each one you can see down there at the bottom, those are each one of the calls. We have the legendary leadership call, the Ascension Lab, and the aligned solutions, right? Not solutions, which is a mastermind, which is very, very powerful. It's when everybody gets together and we all collaborate on what our next projects is and what things that we're working on and get feedback for that stuff, right? So this in itself is a $5,500 value, okay? Now, some of these numbers might not be 100% accurate anymore. I've kind of changed up some of this stuff, but the weekly Ascension Lab, the legendary leadership calls, the Aligned Business Blueprint, we're not doing that anymore. So we could just kind of pretend like that's not there. But the weekly Aligned Solutions calls, the mastermind, those are there as well. So altogether, what is that? $3,200, or excuse me, $13,200 is the actual value of that if you remove the business blueprint. But I'm going to give the business blueprint away anyways for free. I'm going to tell you that right now. If it was just any one of those though, it'd be worth it. I'm telling you that. It would be worth it. I've paid more for a lot less of just one of those calls. Right? All free anyways. Right? And the Aligned Business Blueprint, that was something that we were doing that some people were taking advantage of, but then they didn't really want to move forward because they kind of had everything in there, and they just wanted just like a snapshot of their business, which is fine. I don't really mind that, and I wanted to be able to give people that, but I want to give you the whole thing for free because you're only getting part of the information, right? You're going to be able to see it where it's at, but wouldn't you love to see it mold into something that is beautiful and impacts the world, right? And that's why I took it out of there because I wanted to really move the needle, and we weren't really moving the needle with that. People were still coming in with scarcity, lack, and limitation, and just wanting that, and then just kind of going, thanks, and then see you later. So the 4-week Illusional Marketing Workshop, I'll just say it's $15,700 now, but the cost is only $996, right? And you get a lot more for $996. There's also some bonuses in there, so hang on a second, I'll get there. Right? And well, this is the bonus part. I kind of jumped the gun on the last one, but this is the bonus part, okay? Because I really wanted to leave people with increase, and because I had this training a long time ago, and I paid $10,000. Yeah, it was close to $10,000 for it, right? But I'm going to actually give you all of these. The aligned advertising, it's actually called sold out advertising. That in itself is worth close to $10,000. I'm going to do a 2-day class on that, 4 hours a piece. Now, I took an 8-week course on that was an hour each week to learn this, to start an advertising business and all that. But I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to condense it down into something that is easy to do. You can run your own ads and do it like a professional, and it's going to feel sexy. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. This way you can scale once things start really moving. You could scale on your own. You don't have to get caught up in the trap of, somebody saying like, hey, I have this cookie cutter ad that makes $10,000 a month. You don't have to say that. You don't even have to bother with them. You can just be like, I know how to run my own ads, and then you can teach it to somebody else if you want, right? And then you become an aligned team, right? You will get an extra 4 weeks of aligned solution calls as well, which those in itself are worth a lot of money just because they're masterminds. These masterminds are very, very powerful. Okay, never been in one? Join us. You'll see what I'm talking about. Right? Still at the cost of $996. Okay. So this is everything that you get. Now, I'm going to say this. And we're going to roll this out on March 24th. Well, excuse me. We're going to start promoting this on March 14th, right? But the classes or the workshop doesn't start until the 24th. Now, if you enroll after that time that we start, right, you're only enrolling in the replays, right? Because I'm not going to let you guys in on something that's live and kind of this way you're just not going to be caught up with what we're doing, because we're going to be moving very fast. And here's the deal. It's not to create some kind of scarcity in you or any of that. So if you're feeling that way, you might want to ask yourself why. But the price is going to go up for the replays, because you're still going to get some support in there as well. You're going to get another 2 calls a week after this to support you while you're going through this, right? So I implore you guys to grab this at $996, because it's going to go up to $1296 after we start. Okay, so after the 24th, it's going to go up to $1296, and you're only going to get 2 calls, whereas here you're actually getting 3 calls, right? So big difference. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining me and listening to me do my spiel. It was really fun. I actually really enjoy this. And if there's any questions, now is the time to ask them.
About how many hours a day would I do you think I would spend working on this?
Good question, Shannon. I'd probably say with the workload that we have now, you'd be on the call for an hour, and you'd probably spend maybe an hour or so implementing it. The call is going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you're going to have like a whole day in between to kind of do that. It's not going to be anything huge. Believe me, it's going to be so simple that you're just going to be like, oh, well, you know what? I could just start writing this down and figuring it out. Some people like to use ChatGPT for some stuff, and that's fine. I don't have any problem with that, but I implore you to make it authentic as possible with a lot of this stuff. So let it come from the heart, right? So getting quiet and doing things like that in the feminine energy. Well, actually, technically, the feminine energy is the intuition, but getting quiet and actually listening to that intuition, that's where it's really going to come from. Okay. Good question.
I'm not very good with computers, but you'll help me with that?
Yeah, 100%. So there is an entire call each week dedicated to the technology and the systems, right? So in the first week, we actually like scale it down so that it's very simple, easy to use, stuff like that. And then we actually walk you through how to use it. And in some parts, we could even take some of that stuff over for you if you like. I generally don't want to do too much of that anymore, just because it removes your kind of your control on it and just what it is that you would love to see. This way, once you get really used to it and it being very simple, you're just going to run with it. It's just going to be super simple. And the thing about it is we try to get down to one platform, right? We try to take one or two things or even three things and bring them into one space, right? Whether it be on your phone or on your computer, someplace where you could engage with people just in that one place.
Amazing. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
How'd it go?